So hello again everybody and welcome back to another life video, I guess, because it's kind of something for life but it's also kind of something for work, or I'll use for work hopefully. But I got a package. So
I am interrupting this video to tell you now that he sums up this flash as good for the price. There. I managed to summarize this 20-minute long video for you in seconds, so now you can go do something more interesting with your life. But if you feel like wasting time listening to him ramble on about his reasons and watching yet another unboxing video, go ahead. I did warn you.
I actually ended up ordering an external flash for my camera. Talking about my camera, I'm sorry this is a bit lower quality. I'm filming it on my phone again because I went to London and I went to the zoo and I haven't managed to take the pictures off my camera yet, and this is now, and I'm basically too lazy to do that before I filmed this because I was too excited. So I ordered myself an external flash. It's actually Sunday as well, so I'm actually really surprised it got delivered because, well, nothing gets delivered on a Sunday, so I don't know how or why it's delivered. It wasn't meant to be expected in a couple of days, so thumbs up for person sending it to me on a Sunday, or it being delivered on a Sunday. Thank you very much. So because well, I'm not going to go too much into the unboxing because unboxing, I'm pretty sure inside this box there's going to be another box. Inside that box, I assume it's actually what I want. But some people love to see the unboxing part, so I'm just going to quickly whip through that. So it's kind of a unboxing, first impressions type video. Let's go. So there we are, guys. I know it's a bit of a strange angle, but it's the best I can really do on a tight schedule. So let's quickly get the Amazon box open. Now I actually bought a flash that had I do believe it should have a cleaning cloth, a softbox, and just some ordinary batteries with it. I need to probably get some rechargeable ones if I'm going to start using it a lot. But to begin with, I'll probably just use normal batteries, see how long they last. I did see reviews that the batteries are meant to last quite a long time with this, so let's hope they do. There we go. So inside the box there is some good old brown paper. Get rid of that. And inside the box there is nothing else apart from a bag. And inside the bag there feels like there's at least something. And inside the box we have I think that's the little adjustable soft box, and here you get the first inclination of what I bought. Newer product. Well, as you know, it's a newer flash. I don't know why I'm saying newer. There's the main part, but I'll get to that in a second. So there's nothing else in the bag apart from what I've got in my hands. So we got the soft box. It's actually a little bit smaller than I thought it was. There wasn't any more dimensions, but I could have bought the flash on its own. I'm not showing you at the moment, but I could have bought that on its own for like £27, but for £29 I got the soft box, a remote control, might have been handy, because the cheapest I saw the soft boxes were like £5 by themselves, so I got it more for that really rather than this. But they also throw in 4 batteries to power the flash, because it does take 4 AA batteries. Weirdly enough, on the pictures it showed 4, but on the description I do believe it said only 2. So I'm quite glad I did get 4, that's kind of handy. So obviously 2 packs of 2. Let's move that across, and a microfiber cleaning cloth for your lenses, which is always quite nice. But what is the flash I actually got? Well, it's actually possibly the cheapest one I could find. Well, it wasn't the cheapest, but it was like one of the best with good reviews. I got a newer TT560 Speedlight. This is my first flash, and some of you might be like, why did you get this as your first flash? It's not got TTL or anything like that. Well, I didn't really want to start off with a flash like that. When I started learning how to use a camera, for instance, this is my D5000, I only ever used it on manual mode. I never tried using it on aperture priority mode, or shutter priority, or P mode priority mode, I don't know. I always just used it on manual just so I could, you know what I'm doing. And I thought the same should be true for speed light. So I thought if I got a full manual one, I would be able to control the lighting just how I want it, really. So you get a cold shoe, a little plastic one, and it does have a threaded bottom on there, which is always nice. So you can always cold shoe it and then screw it on, as well as having a little stand for it. That's quite nice. Looks like a little person, kind of squished. You get some instructions, tells you all about it, which is nice. And then in the main compartment here, it actually has its own sort of velvet bag, which is kind of nice if you didn't want it to like get in contact with anything else. And there we are, guys. So I know I've never owned this flashlight before, but you know, it actually feels quite, it turns, it's not very loose turning, it's quite stiff, so it holds its position really well, so that's really nice. Now I know it goes 180 one way and just only 90 degrees the other. I mean, if it spun all the way around, it'd kind of be nice, but it's not essential. And then you can turn it fully 90 degrees, which is what I liked as well, so you should get a nice range of movement. You do have markers. I know you won't be able to probably see this on here, but there are markers on how many degrees you've got when you tilt it down, and when you tilt it around there's marks in there, but I don't think you really need to use that. It's weird, it feels really solid, but I wouldn't say the plastic was, you know, the nicest plastic in the world. Like, but you know, all this was £29. What more do you really want? Like I say, it's going to be my first flash for me to learn everything. I didn't need TTL, I just wanted something with a slave mode, which is what that is. And something with a metal shoe, because I heard if you get the plastic ones, they can break quite easily when rocking about on top of your camera. This also does come with a diffuser, which is spring loaded, it seems. And so yeah, it comes with a diffuser, which is kind of spring loaded, so if you hold it down it doesn't just fall off, so it is actually sprung against there. And you also have a bounce card. So I don't know how effective these are. I imagine if you want to just use the bounce without a diffuser, you just, can you lift that up and poke that bit back down? So it looks like you can have either up. To get them both out though, it's easier to pull the diffuser and then poke that back down. So it looks like you can have just the bounce if you want it, or the diffuser and the bounce, or just the diffuser, possibly. I would say you'd probably have to be a bit careful if you push the bounce card back in and then push the diffuser back in. It looks like the back of it could maybe catch it and push it further down in there. So that might just be something you have to watch out for. There's also, not that I plan on using them, you have, I think it's an auxiliary power port on here. You can't really see because the lighting's terrible, but there's an auxiliary power port and also one for tethering it to your camera, I do believe, so you don't have to do it wirelessly. Not only that, last thing to check I guess is the battery push. That's not spring loaded, so that can just sort of flap, but this feels very secure, you know. It's not really hard to get undone, but it doesn't feel really flimsy. The actual hinge, I don't know if you can see in there, the hinge is actually metal construction rather than plastic, so it should hold up quite nicely against work. So that was sort of the unboxing for you. I'm just going to flip it back onto my face. So there we are, there's a quick unboxing of my new Neewer speed light. On the back, I don't know if you can see this, you have the TT560 speed light, just tells you it. I think this is exactly the same as a, is it God something brand, but you just have the buttons to set the power, so down and up, and these are your power indicators. So it doesn't have the biggest range of power, but I thought for me it's going to be good. And like I say, it's fully manual because I wanted to understand how to use light for cheating, basically using TTL or through the lens. I thought that was I thought this would teach me exactly what was going on, a bit like using manual straight away on your camera. It might be a bit more daunting for me to begin with, but hopefully it then means I can pretty much do what I want when I want. I might even buy a second one because they're so cheap. I'll just see how this one lasts, basically. But you know, if it dies, it was only £29 British pounds. So, and like I say, I've got this one because it looks fairly simple. It does all of what I want to do. It's got slave mode, so I can potentially trigger it from my on-camera flash to get sort of off-camera flash. You have, so yeah, sort of 2 slave modes and your manual. There's also a button to test the flash. I'm not sure why you'd really want, I guess maybe just to see if it's firing, maybe if your batteries are dead. And the mode button just there cycles between manual, slave 1 and slave 2. And this power light also shines when it's ready, and so I do believe if you use it on the full power, actually let's put the batteries in it rather than just talk about it. Let's put the batteries in it and show you what I mean. So I can't imagine these batteries are going to last too long, but you know, it's an extra little something. It means I might be able to get 1 or 2, I don't know, flashes out before it stops. And there is also a nice little diagram, you probably can't see, oh yeah, there you go, sort of flashing away, on how to put the batteries in. And the battery compartment is, I'm looking there, it is moulded, so the batteries can't sort of flop about while you're trying to do it, so they went in there really easily. And then what we do is we just slide the on-off switch to on. Oh, you could hear it whirring there. So it is on max power. There you go. You just saw the light come on. And then if we click test. Oh! I know you can see the power button took a while to come back. That was really bright. So let's go down to the bottom one, and I don't believe it needs really any time on. What I'm going to do is fire it off away from my face. Actually, can I turn it? So you can see everything working. You can see the powers down on the bottom. Test, flash, flash, and there's like, people are probably wondering what's going on outside. And there wasn't that much of a wait on maximum power. It was what, maybe a couple of seconds? So let's turn it off. So yeah, that kind of explains why I got this one rather than, you know, a singing all dance. I mean, this is like 10% of the price of some of the Nikon ones, probably some of the Canon ones as well. It had pretty decent reviews online as well, you know, it's just a very basic flash. You just have to know what you're doing or know what you want to do. And hopefully it's going to teach me a lot about, you know, strobist work and getting hopefully some more out of my shots. So there we go, that's the main reasons. I don't think I missed anything out. They're the main reasons why I bought a flash and why I bought one that was fully manual, because I want to learn how to control the light better. So it seems, you know, it seems fairly robust for the price. Like, it doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart on me. It feels like it could take a knock or two. Even the screw down motion. Should we try it quickly on my D5000? Just because. So wind it all up. Simple as that, and then lock it down. This looks ridiculous on my. Look at the size of that. It's bigger than my camera. So yeah, it's you know, if you've got sort of entry-level cameras, it is fairly large. I didn't expect it to be probably quite that big, even though you saw people handling it. They are quite monstrous sizes. But no, it feels, look, I don't know if you can tell, like, you know, it is, there's like no wobble in there at all, so I'd be quite happy to go around with that. I don't think it's going to come off. It's not going to come off very easily anyway, because I screwed it down now, I can't get it off. So yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't go as far as some reviews to say it's really well built. I mean, I think it's good for the price. £29 for all that, £27 if you want to buy it on its own. Hopefully I'll remember to put the link down below to who I bought it from off Amazon. But it feels, you know, robust enough for a beginner. Like, maybe if I was heading out into the jungles and wilderness with sand everywhere, I'd maybe want to get something a bit, you know, more weatherproof. But then I'd need a more weatherproof camera. So yeah, first initial impressions, my little sort of preview, unboxing preview here is that everything feels nice. Like, it doesn't feel like a very cheap product, you know. So hopefully I get some decent shots out of it, and once I have, maybe I'll do a more in-depth sort of review on it rather than just this preview. But first impressions, very good. Anywho, I'll leave it there, and I'll see you next time. Sparks out. So quickly, one thing I forgot to show you was putting it on its stand. Same thing, this is actually a little harder to put on than in the hot shoe, to put on the cold shoe, but I got it on there. Again, it's fairly sturdy. I'm not sure I trust this quite as much because this is only made of plastic. Obviously it's got a metal thread in there, but I don't know, it feels fairly sturdy, but obviously it's more just to stand. So that's that. And also I forgot to show you the diffuser, which doesn't have any rods or anything in it. Like I say, it's not that big compared to the head of the Flash, so it's maybe what, 4 times the size roughly, or something like that. Like I say, it's got no rods, so you don't have to worry about setting anything up. It's just made from a kind of thickish plastic, you know. So it kind of just folds up and holds its shape, and then you get the little Velcro strip to pop through all these tags. You also get an elastic band, and what you do, I believe, or this is what I did and it seems to work, I haven't read the instructions because who reads instructions, is you get the end of your Flash, you pop your elastic band on, and what this does is it acts as something for the diffuser to grip onto. So there we go, you have your thing on there, and then you literally just poke it on. This can be a bit tricky doing it one-handed, but you poke it over so it sits over the top of the rubber band, and then you do up your Velcro strip, which just wraps around onto itself, and there we go. You have things. So it's quite, you know, it's on there quite well. I mean, you could probably pull it off if you wanted to, but I don't know why you would. It's like knocking it, it's not going to come off. And that's what it does for you. If I quickly turn my Flash back on, let's give it a little test. There we go. So as you can see, probably, from the light entering from above, there are little gaps all the way. I'm just making sure because there are little gaps all the way around where it does fold. So, like I say, it's probably not the most professional thing, but you know, all this for £30 less than, you can't really complain. Obviously, that is going to soften the light quite nicely for you and direct it more to a place rather than just everywhere out. So it is a little bit more directional, a little bit softer, just depending on your situation. Like these gaps should only cast light out to the side of it, so unless you're having your Flash right close to someone, then and sort of under your shot, it might sort of come back out into your camera, possibly. That's what I'm thinking might happen because there's gaps. But if you're really that kind of worried about it, you could always then just get some black tape and tape this up. You know, if you're in the market for this anyway, you're probably looking for budget options. Black tape, it's not going to cost you the earth. It should come off this plastic quite nicely, I reckon. But yeah, so that should hopefully work quite well as well. So I think that's it now. Bye. Not quite, I did think of something. So because this does come off quite nicely, and you know, it is all fairly flat, and so because you do get your little pouch, you know, you could possibly pop that in there, possibly pop the hot shoe, or cold shoe even. It's not really going to scratch anything, it's made from plastic and so is the body, so I don't see the problem with that. I probably won't put the batteries in there. But then this, So you're just take it out from all the little sections. Pop, 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 and then it just folds down flat, and then that might be able to fit in the bag as well. Ooh, so that does fit in there also, so you can see just about. Got the flash, the mount, and the cold shoe still in there. The cold shoe, and then just place the rubber band on top. It's, you know, it's rubber band, it's not going to damage anything. And then you have, oh, I forgot the Velcro. So I mean, you can potentially keep it all in one sort of handy carry place if you want. Like I say, I'm going to keep the batteries to one side because they've got metal, you know, parts on them. I don't want them scratching anything too badly to begin with. You know, I might feel a little less worried when I start actually doing it. But yeah, you can get everything except the batteries into the little case it comes with. So that's very handy, very nice and portable. So you know you've got all your stuff in one bit, apart from the batteries. And so that's just a nice little extra thing, you know. So the bag's, again, not the best quality, but £30, guys. Seems like a winner. Anyway, this is the last part, so I shall see you next time. Ciao. So, when you go drinking in London with Carol, you get fucking lost. But using the pegs, I was able to form the leather into this shape, and see, it holds its shape. You can even put it fairly straight and it pings back.
If you're still listening, you either found this video interesting, fell asleep during the video, and have now woken up, or potentially died, which sucks. Unfortunately, I don't sleep and had to sit through the whole thing. Cruelty to robot voiceovers. There's not even a point to this part of the video. Troll lol 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 lol.